Hello, and welcome to this year's Year 8 Parents Information Evening. This is Mr. Maher, head of Year 8, and the purpose behind this information evening is to provide you as parents detailed information on what to expect this year and how we can all continue to support your son throughout their journey in Year 8 at Hurstmere School. This evening, you will hear from myself as well as Mr. Wadsworth. So if we do hear a change of voice, it will be the fact that Mr. Wadsworth is now speaking. First and foremost, I would like to say it has been a pleasure to welcome your sons back to the school. It is great to see the effort that they are putting forward this year since being back at school. I would like to start by discussing some current key dates in the school calendar to make you aware of. I must say and I must remind you that these dates are subject to change depending on what happens in the future given the current situation that we are all facing. Your son is due to be part of a tracking report during November 9th to November 13th, which we will then feed to you afterwards. This is where subject teachers will be grading your son on their attitude to learning, their classwork, their homework, and giving a level of their current attainment. The attitude to learning, classwork, and homework will be issued an A, B, or C, with A being excellent, B being good, and C being below expectation, and their current attainment will be a grade 1 to 9, 9 being the top grade. This will provide you an overview of how your son is currently performing and will allow us as a year group and their form tutors to potentially highlight any particular areas that may require a little bit additional focus. We are aiming to have another tracking period similar to that first one between January 25th and January 29th, which again will be in the same format, where teachers will again reassess how your son is performing, their attitude to learning, their classwork, their homework, as well as providing updated current attainment based off of key pieces that they have completed, as well as the level that they are performing within the classroom. March 11th is currently penciled in for a parents' evening. As we approach closer to that date, more information will be given in regards to what exactly the parents' evening will look like, how the booking system will work, if it will be face-to-face or potentially done virtually. But again, we're unable to give concrete and definitive answers on this because we're always adjusting and always amending our current plan in school based off of the current situation that we are all facing. April 19th to April 30th, we are aiming to have an official assessment period. During that time, all subjects will be performing an end-of-year key piece or exam. This will focus on all material covered throughout the year to give us an overview on how your son has performed throughout the year. July 5th, we are aiming to have full reports issued to parents, which will include a tracking report, as well as verbal and written feedback to parents from each of his subject teachers, as well as his form tutor. I would reiterate the fact that these dates are subject to change based off of the current conditions that we are all facing. This year, as a year group, these are the expectations that we have for your son. Number 1, to respect and support our school. Number 2, to prepare for success. And number 3, be willing to fail. These are 3 expectations that are highlighted and focused on each and every week during our virtual assemblies. The respect and support our school is that more than ever, we need to be there to support one another. The students need to respect themselves. They need to respect their peers. They also need to ensure that they are respecting the school that they are attending. And this is to remind them that now more than ever, we all need to lean on each other, because at some stage we are all going to need different levels of support. Number 2, to prepare for success. This is dealing with things like making sure they know what lessons the boys have, coming to school with the right attitude, coming to school with the right equipment, because so often is the case, it is very hard for someone to be successful if they are not coming prepared to school. They do not have the correct exercise book, they do not have a pen or a pencil. It is those little things that they can control that will help them be successful. And one of the keys is measuring individually for each and every student what the word success means. In no way, shape, or form is the expectation that they are going to get everything right, because as we all know, everybody learns at different rates, everybody has different strengths and different weaknesses, and what one person may view to be a success is not a same level of success for somebody else. So we are working with your sons to get them to understand what it means in order to be successful and how important it is in order to prepare to be successful. And the final major expectation is this idea of being willing to fail. This is something that I am personally constantly talking to the boys about, because in no way, shape, or form are we expecting them to get every single thing right, but we want them to make an effort. We want to build up their confidence, because too many times, if they feel that they do not have the right answer, then they will actually not participate, not share, not be willing to put themselves out there, because failing at something is an important part of learning and is an important part of life. And the key is we want to create an environment where if people are unsuccessful, if people are sharing answers and they are not getting it right, that we are all there linking into our first expectation to support one another. Because we want them to be willing to make a go, willing to try, so that we know if they do happen to get something wrong, where they have gone wrong. That is the key for us. So these expectations are designed to help foster a community, to help foster a school that is there to support one another, that is there to help us be successful, and for them to realize that it is okay not to get every single thing right. If you make a mistake, that is okay, so long as you are willing to try and you are willing to learn from it. If they are able to improve on it the next time, I am considering that a massive win. This year, like every year, we are asking parents for the following: to support the learning of your son, to encourage positive energy towards school, and to continue to monitor the planner and the expectation cards. To support your son's learning does not mean that you are doing everything for them. It could be things like ensuring that they have an appropriate space that fosters good learning, a quiet, sensible place at home or wherever they are completing their work, revising for an assessment, or where they want to go and explore and further their own learning in a particular subject area. We ask that you encourage positive energy towards school. I appreciate, as parents, there will be the odd occasion where you may disagree with a particular sanction or a particular note that has come from the school. And we welcome your conversations and we welcome communications from you if you happen to disagree, but we do ask that you continue to encourage positive energy towards school. Your son will pick up on any negative vibes from you towards school, and that may hamper and have a direct impact on their perceptions of school, and therefore then affect their effort within school. So we welcome communication from you if you disagree with anything that you feel the school has done. However, we ask you to continue to encourage positive energy towards school so that your son can get the most out of their educational experience here at Hurstmere. And finally, we ask you to continue to monitor the planner and the expectation cards. The planner should be signed on a weekly basis. This will also allow you an overview on how your son has been performing throughout the particular week. It will allow you to potentially pick up on any patterns, i.e., for example, if there is a few notes in regards to lack of equipment. This will allow you to support his learning by potentially having a conversation and ensuring that they do have the correct equipment on the given day. And as well, we ask you to monitor the expectation cards. The expectation cards are new this year, and they have three main focuses. Number one, their uniform. Number two, their punctuality. And number three, any other possible infringements, things like chewing gum in the corridor or potentially inappropriate behavior on the playground. Monitoring the planner and the expectation cards will give you a very good oversight into how your son is performing at Hurstmere School. And with the expectation cards, I appreciate that a lot of parents are doing a very good job and want to make sure that their uniforms are very clean. However, a lot of the boys are in fact storing the expectation cards in their blazer pocket. So we please ask that if you could ensure if you are washing a blazer to double check the pockets so that the expectation card remains in a good condition and doesn't necessarily go through the wash. This year, more than ever, we are continuing to focus on your son's well-being. Kooth and Young Minds are two different charities and organizations that are there to support young children. They are both online resources that provide support and counseling for young people in an anonymous way. There will be times where your son may require additional support, but are potentially unwilling to speak to you about it, or unwilling to speak to their form tutor or myself about what is bothering them. That does not mean that they do not require additional support, but whatever is afflicting them, we are providing and reminding the boys that these are two options available to them, so that if they need it, they have additional resources that they can go on to. Highly trained counselors, which can provide them an outside perspective on any potential issue that is troubling them. It does not have to be school related. It can be anything to do with their lives. So we are very much having a very strong push this year that highlighting that we are here to support them, that you are there to support them, but we also appreciate that they may not feel comfortable speaking to us. And as much as we want them to speak to us, sometimes if we press too much, it forces them into more of a shell, and then they won't actually go out and seek the support that they need. So we highlight, again, you've got Kooth, you have an organization also known as Young Minds. These are two free online resources that your son can easily sign up to in order to receive some counseling or some advice on any issues that are potentially troubling them.